Everybody, and welcome to Lifestyle Real Estate. I'm here at my home office. I'm being looked over by General George Washington crossing the Delaware. He constantly reminds me that if you want to win, you got to do stuff the other guy is not willing to do. But that's beside the point. Today, we're talking about Airbnb. We're talking about VRBO. I'm going to give you a rundown of each one and let you know which one I think is the better platform and what you should do to get started with short-term rentals. Let's get into it. All right, so here we go. We've got our screen set up. I've got these, my internet browser pulled up here. So I'll show you each website. There is also an app, which, if you're on the go, it's really great to use the apps as well. It's kind of a simplified version of the website. I will say for each Airbnb and for VRBO, their apps, they have more limited functionality. So you're not able to do quite as much with the apps, which I think is a little unfortunate. It's pretty simple stuff you should be able to do on either one, but let's just go ahead and we'll do a rundown of each website, of each platform, and show you kind of the pros and the cons of each. Airbnb, it is clearly a startup company. It's a Silicon Valley startup. It's high tech. It's a very clean and easy to use website. So let's go for the full view right here. So basically it's a standard website. You've got all your different headers up here. Nice little dashboard. Shows you your money right up front. And this is a big thing for me. I got into short-term rentals for the money. So to be able to see earnings, to be able to see projected income and breakdowns, it's pretty great. So usually I get on, that's the first thing I click on right there. So this is a view I really like. I can see month by month. Okay, October, record high. November, still above the average. So we started out in June. It's really nice. We got some details here, some stats, 88% occupancy rate, 0 cancellation fees. I paid about $6,000 in cleaning, or I should say I've charged my clients, my guests, that much money, $6,000 in cleaning fees. So here's what's paid out. There's what's expected. Pretty nice. You got different performance. You can look at what your click-through rate is, what your impressions are, how well you're showing up in search, which is really nice. And that's one thing I really like about Airbnb is that they tell you exactly if you want to do well, if you want your listing to show up, here are the things you need to do. If you share on an outside platform, if you have a certain number of pictures, if all your pictures are horizontal, if you follow the steps, you can do really well and get a lot of bookings quickly up front, which I think is huge for Airbnb. So that's really nice. Beyond that, the other big thing I look at is my calendar. So calendar view, I've got to say, Airbnb is pretty good. I can't say they're as good as VRBO though. So we'll take a look at this and then we'll hop over to VRBO. So let's see what we've got here. Let's go back to the full screen. Okay, so here we go. We've got a bunch of people. Book. And so you can see here, okay, where it says grandfather cabin. So that is the VRBO. That's why I've named my VRBO calendar. It's, this is a cabin near Grandfather Mountain. So that's what I named it. Real creative. So anyway, I will say, this, what you can do, you can click on a date. You can decide if you want smart pricing or not. One thing I think is weird, you can't change availability from the website, or at least here it's not real clear to me. So if I want to block this day, here I've got a day wide open, let's say December 8th, availability. I can't block it here. I can do that from the app. So this kind of gets into the issue with Airbnb where there's some stuff you can do on the app, there's some stuff you can do on the website, but they don't always overlap. So what I showed you with that financial update on the, if we go back to performance here, and if we take a look at earnings, this view is not available on the website, and I find it super annoying because I'm on my phone all the time. I'm checking things on the go. So what I have to do is I have to go to, I have to go to an internet browser. I have to go to airbnb.com. I have to select desktop view, and then I'm like scrolling around trying to find because I want to see, once I get more bookings, I want to see, all right, did I surpass what I did last month? It's nice to have a clean graphical view like that, and they don't do that on the mobile app for some reason. Creating a listing, super easy on Airbnb. Again, this is like, kind of the Mac versus PC argument. Airbnb would fall under the Mac category, where it's super clean, it's super easy, it's designed for somebody with minimal intelligence to be able to answer a few questions and to create a listing. So for that reason, I really like Airbnb. They do make it simple. So you just upload some photos, you answer some questions about your listing, just fill in the fields, and that's it. Super easy. Let's take a look at VRBO. Again, the look is going to be different whether you're on the website or if you're on your mobile app. So here's my dashboard. Let's take a look at that. We'll start there like we did before. So there's not much useful information on the dashboard, and the view is always a little bit weird. So let's take a look again here. I'll maximize it for you. So what have we got? We've got some opportunities, stuff like this. Take a moment to rate, and then there's nobody to rate because I've already rated everybody. So like that window is still there, but null just means there's no field to fill in. So on the mobile version, it hasn't updated itself in months. So I've got, congratulations, you just got a booking for the middle of August, is what the maybe it was September, but that's what the mobile app says. So the dashboard doesn't really update. It has no useful information. It's not really, the thought of a dashboard is you glance down and you see some key metrics. You see the important stuff, like when you're driving, you can see how fast you're going, you can see your temperature, things like that. This has totally useless information. Calendar, I do like the calendar a little bit more. There's a key, so they have different colors based on, is this an Airbnb thing? Did you block it yourself? Is this a confirmed reservation? Is this an inquiry? So you can kind of take a look at it, and visually I think it does work out a little bit better. So let's take a look at the VRBO calendar. Again, I do kind of like this. It has different colors, so it shows this is Airbnb, or the owner blocked, or there's a booking request, or green means it's reserved. Import export. So here I can import my Airbnb calendar. That gets them synchronized so that we don't have any issues. There was a huge issue with Airbnb where they had a bug and the synchronization was just removed, and nobody told me about that. So I had 3 or 4 bookings happen in the course of a day when all of my VRBO bookings got removed from my Airbnb calendar. That was really frustrating. And it caused a lot of issues with my guests as well. So it's not perfect, but for some reason this function is not available on the app, and it's not available even if you go to the desktop view on your internet browser on your phone. Import export simply doesn't exist. So that's really frustrating. I was trying to export my calendar quickly back to Airbnb, and I had to go home and get to my laptop computer to be able to do that. So I don't know why they wouldn't have the export function on the mobile option as well. So you can go Airbnb, import, export. You can export your reservation data if you want to send that like to your cleaning crew. They've just got the month by month view, which, it's not super intuitive here on the desktop. It is better on the mobile version. So again, both of these have pluses and minuses, but so I'm not going to get too carried away with how to use a website, how to use an app. That's not really the purpose of this video. The purpose is to let you know which one I think is better and which one I think you should use. And so you can go back and forth. Okay, this app's easier to use. This one has better function. I can view financials a little bit easier on one or the other. But the big thing is, who's getting you bookings? Where is your money coming from? Are you able to get visibility? Are you able to get guests to come in to pay? And how is that experience? And that is where Airbnb totally blows VRBO out of the water. Let's look at my calendar. I already showed this before, but let's take a look and look at just the sheer volume of people I'm getting on Airbnb versus VRBO. So here we go. We're going to take a look at my calendar. Okay, so let's take a look. Here's the calendar. So everything in green is an Airbnb listing. Everything in gray or black is a VRBO reservation. So I've got 2 days on this calendar that are not booked through Airbnb. So for a given month, I get 1 day through VRBO. The rest of it is all through Airbnb. They do something really unique. They take new listings and they promote them to the top of the list. They really try to push new listings. They try to get you bookings, get you reviews so you can get up and running. And then if you're not a good host and if you get bad reviews, then your visibility falls and you lose in rankings and things like that. But they give you a push start to begin with. VRBO doesn't do that. You've got to get on there. You've got no listings. You've got no history, no track record, no reviews, and so you rank at the bottom of the search. So when people are looking for a place to stay, the new people all fall to the bottom. So it's really hard for people to find your listing and to book it. So for that reason, Airbnb, I think, really. I got $20,000 worth of bookings through Airbnb with the same exact pictures, with the same exact descriptions, with the same exact amount of marketing I've done. I've gotten maybe $1,000 through VRBO. So if you're looking to make money, Airbnb is just hard to beat. It's a huge platform. Everybody knows it. So which one should you go for? Should you go for Airbnb? Should you go for VRBO? Well, I don't think you should go for just one. I think you should really go for both. There's really no downside to getting exposure on both. You can sync up those calendars so they work in tandem together. Why not be on 2 platforms at the same time? So what I do, my strategy is I've got dynamic pricing on Airbnb. With VRBO, what I do is I price things a little bit higher. I haven't always done that. So some people might say, well, that's why you're not getting bookings. You're priced higher on one versus the other. I've tried going lower on VRBO, but I think I've got 2 different price points, and if people want to go through VRBO, maybe, if I can get a little bit of extra money. The other thing, though, a big reason I do that is that VRBO does not have dynamic pricing like Airbnb does. So I've got to basically go in and manually change the price for each date, which is way more work than I want to do. So I just set a price that's kind of near the top of where Airbnb would put their dynamic pricing, and I just hold it there. So if I can get a little bit of a premium through VRBO, that's good. But, I figure I'm getting some of these bookings that I might not otherwise get, these little 1-day filler days here and there through VRBO. So at the end of the day, I think you should be on as many platforms as possible. I did try Booking.com. That's another one. I felt that they took way too much control away from the owner. They basically say, once you're on here, we're going to book your place and you can't cancel it. You have no control over the reservation. It's basically guests staying through Booking.com, and your property is just sort of along for the ride, which, I lost control of that process. It's hard to interact with guests. It's really it's a hotel experience. And so I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. But I think, again, the more platforms you can be on, the better. Here's another reason why I think it's important to be on multiple platforms. Airbnb, for example, they're constantly updating policies, changing cleaning procedures. And if you don't like them, or if you don't agree with them, or if you have to cancel for some reason, it's very easy to get delisted. For Airbnb can say, look, we don't think you're cleaning properly, and take you off of the platform completely. That's a huge risk. I mean, you can see I've got a ton of bookings here through Airbnb. So what if I was just removed one day? Well, I've still got VRBO. Then I can start marketing that on channels like Facebook and other external platforms where I can really start quickly building up bookings again. Whereas if I had to start from scratch, it would be a little bit tough. So I've already got reviews on VRBO. I've already got some ranking in the search. So it's better than starting from scratch if I had to. So really it kind of, it spreads out that risk as well. It's a good insurance policy to be on both. So that's what I think, folks. At the end of the day, Airbnb is a way better platform, but I think there's value in being on VRBO as well. Let me know what you think. Is there another platform that I should be on? How about you folks who aren't using either one, who are going completely independent? A lot of people are building their own websites and just going away from third-party vendors altogether. Is that something I should do? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.